So jumping straight into the data, here you can see the yellow is Virginia Beach, purple is Norfolk, and the red is Chesapeake. Right here we're looking at August. This is the number of homes for sale that were for sale in the month of August in these three cities. 2,115 in August in Virginia Beach, 1,050. 1,279 in Chesapeake. In September, we jump over here to the right, and you can see 2,081. That's down 10% versus last September. Norfolk, 1,039, down 6.6%. Versus the month of September in 2018. And in Chesapeake, down 8.7, 1,262, down also for the month of September 2018. And here, we're not reflecting, I didn't pull up the data, but unfortunately the August ones are definitely a trend line down as well. And here you can see it. It's being illustrated right here for you on the graph, and how this is trending down. And yes, you could say, well, it's seasonal and what have you, but this is a 3-year trend. This isn't a 1-year trend. So this is just continuing to decline in our market. Interesting, closed sales continue to pretty much hold their own or have a little bit of growth. If we look at the month of August, 7,616 closings, 3,291, Chesapeake 4,579, and we jump over to September, and here you can see it's up 1.5% versus last September. 7,681 properties, that number up 1.5%. Norfolk, 3,305 properties, that number up 1.6%. And Chesapeake, the only one with a little bit of a downtrend, but just 1%, 4,577 properties. The number that's extremely important is the month's supply. So this is an absorption rate that calculates out to months of inventory, meaning that if we didn't list any more properties, that this is how many months we would have left of inventory before we had no inventory. A normal market for that is 6 to 8, 6 to 9 months. We've been in the 3s and the 4s for a really long time. Here you can see the trend, and it really started to fall off dramatically in 2017. And 2018 continued to drop, and we really haven't seen any kind of a recovery out of this. It's certainly at its lowest point in the last 3 years. If we go back 5 years, you can still see it's at its lowest point. If we went back to the maximum, which is taking us back to 2010, I mean, that is a massive downward trend line that we're looking at right there. So looking at September, 3.3 months of inventory, that's down 10.8% versus last September. Norfolk 3.8, that's down 9.5% versus last September. And Chesapeake 3.3 months of inventory, down 8.3%. So what does that mean? Well, that means that we don't have as many homes to sell as we did a year ago. And you can see by the trend line, or that we had 2 years ago, or that we had 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Trying to figure out some different reasons for that thought process. We think that seniors are staying in their home a little bit longer than they used to. They're not relocating. They're staying in their property. They're not selling their property. They're not moving into as many retirement facilities, those kinds of things. We also think that there's an affordability factor for selling your house, and that sellers are just choosing to stay and maybe add on to their property versus putting it on the market and selling their property. So a couple of different things that are going on with that and the thought process. What's very interesting, though, is if you take a look at the sales price, you can see that it's not really being reflected. We have some growth, which is great. The median sale price in Virginia Beach, $270,000, up 5.5%, $211,750, up 5.2%, and Chesapeake, $285,000, up 3.6%. So we've got some growth there, but it's nowhere close to the type of fallout that we're having from the lack of inventory. So for sellers, just because there's not a lot of inventory and there's still a lot of buyers out there, which we can tell by the number of closings that we're having, doesn't mean that you get to price it for whatever you want to. You need to listen to your realtor. Certainly that's something that we do here at Redefy. We specialize in listings. It's a $5,500 flat fee, full service on the listing side. everything that you would get with a traditional company, but it's only $5,500 flat fee. It does not matter how much your house sells for. And you need to take that counsel and say, yes, this is the price that my realtor says to list it at. This is what it's going to sell for. And that is what gets it sold quickly. Overpricing it is not going to help you, and still we have to deal with the appraisers when there's financing involved, which is going to be the majority of transactions. There's going to be an appraiser involved. So for sellers, that's my counsel. For the buyers, there's not a lot of inventory. You need to be working with a realtor that knows the market, that knows how to write a really good offer. We certainly offer that service as well, because you're going to be competing with other offers on the hot properties, and there's just not a lot of inventory. So take that as you will. Visit our website, redefyflatfee.com, REDEFY flatfee.com. And learn a little bit more about us. You can always go to my personal website, bettercalldoug.com. If you're a senior, please visit my website, seniorspecialistva.com, and learn a little bit more about the things that we bring to the table that offer for all three of those categories, sellers, buyers, and seniors. We'll be back next month. We're going to be looking at October's numbers. Make it a great day.